Hi there guys, and welcome once again to Jonesy's Question Time, where we are on episode 23, is it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 22 last time, so by order of that, yeah, it would be 23 this time. So thank you once again to everyone that has sent questions in so far. I've only got one question that is running over to next week's question time. Steve, you sent 2 questions in, so one of your questions will be answered next week, but seeing as though you did have 3 last week, I think that's fair enough, really, isn't it? So yeah, really important to get your questions in as always, guys. I've got a nice mix this week. I had a nice mix last week, so you know the drill. Keep it nice and varied. Some sports, some general, some random as well. That's always good. We've got a random one in today as well, which is always fun to see. So yeah, thank you to everyone who has got your questions in. So let's get started with I think we have to really start with everything that happened yesterday, with TR Gamer, who simply asked, predicted finish for Leeds United this year. I remember answering this in another question time, but I think it was before the season had started, and I think originally I was aiming us to be around maybe just outside the playoffs. Definitely sort of a top 10 finish with, you know, the possibility of maybe pushing for a playoff spot. With how everything has gone, and especially now that Rosler has been sacked and replaced with Steve Evans, and now Massimo Cellino is banned as well, and just everything that's been going on, quite frankly, I mean, I am going to speak more about this in probably the Leeds United Weekly on Sunday, but for me personally, it's going to be a relegation battle, because the way we're playing at the moment, the way that we've been going downhill so rapidly over the past few weeks, and the way that some players are playing, they just don't look interested at all. And I mean, you know, we're 18th at the moment with 11 points from 11, and I know it's only 11 games in, but you do worry, you really do worry. And for me, Steve Evans is not the kind of guy that you want to come in to help you push up the table. I think the best that we can expect from him is really just to be, you know, a good fighter and a good battler that will maybe get us through a relegation battle like he did with Rotherham last season. I really hope that he does prove me wrong. I'm not a fan of the guy. I don't think I ever will like the guy. But if he does get us playing, and he you know, gets the players motivated again, and he does push up the table, then fair play to the guy, and I will get behind him and stand behind him. But he's just a character who I have disliked from around, you know, sort of 2005, 2006, through all the stuff that happened with him at Boston United, and he's done things since that I just don't agree with, and he's just not a very likeable guy anyway. But even just his you know, his track record, you know, he's done stuff at lower league clubs where he's been really well financially backed. You know, he did well at Boston originally in the lower leagues, where I think he had some money behind him. He did it again at Crawley, again when he had lots of money behind him. He's done it at Rotherham, obviously bringing them up into the Championship when he had a bit of money behind him. But then as soon as he got up into the Championship, he struggled with them down the bottom of the league. So he's not really the kind of manager you want in to kind of help you with promotion into the Premier League. But that's my thoughts anyway. That's my personal belief. You know, I don't want to be overly too negative with it, but I just can't help it really. It's just, the club really is an absolute joke. And yesterday morning I was just embarrassed really. It was that bad. So for me, as it stands, I can't see us sort of getting past a relegation battle by the end of this season. Like I say, I really do hope that Evans and the team prove me wrong, but it's not looking good. That's all I can say. So thank you very much, TR Gamer, for that question. Like I say, if you are wanting to hear more of my kind of views on Leeds United and everything, I do the Leeds United Weekly show, where I basically kind of round up all the weekly news from the club, and I do give my opinions here and there with it. So I've just kind of upgraded it a little bit and made it a little bit better, kind of production wise. So that one just went out on Sunday, so check that out if you haven't already, guys. So let's move away from sport and go to XX Joey Lad XX, who has asked me, what is your opinion of Johnny Vegas? Monkey! God, that was an awful impression. Yeah, and if you haven't seen the advert, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I love Johnny Vegas. I really do like Johnny Vegas. I've liked Johnny Vegas for quite a while. I remember when I was very young, and I remember he kind of had his very very aggressive kind of stand-up routine then, and obviously as a young lad kind of seeing it, and well, I wasn't really allowed to watch it for obvious reasons, but I remember not really liking the big shouty angry fat man on telly, but kind of growing up and getting more into stand-up comedy and seeing more of his things, I really do enjoy his comedy. And I love the guy as well himself. He's starting to do a lot more acting and everything. What was that show that he did that I think he actually wrote? Was it called Ideal? Or it was a sitcom that he had on like BBC 2 or BBC 3. I remember watching that. Really, really kind of strange, surreal kind of comedy, but really great. I mean, I loved it. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. But you see him in all sorts now. He's in Still Open All Hours. He's obviously been in Benidorm before. Does a lot of serious acting here and there as well. And yeah, I really like Johnny Vegas. I can see why, based on his stand-up routines, why people maybe didn't like him. He's certainly not meant for everyone. But yeah, as someone who really likes the stand-up comedy and comedy acts and everything, I really do like Johnny Vegas, and he seems like a really nice, decent bloke as well. That there's the character Johnny Vegas, and then there's him in his real life as well. So I think it's important to distinguish between that, and he's always good for a laugh on things like panel shows, QI and Would I Lie to You and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Johnny Vegas. So thank you very much, Joey, for your question there. Back into sports, there's actually kind of two linking in together, so I may as well put these together actually. Steve from Twitter has asked, kind of stated, surely Leeds Rhinos should win Team of the Year at Sports Personality 2015. You would think so, Steve, wouldn't you? I would put my money on them. Well, no, actually, no, I probably wouldn't, because the BBC has done well to kind of avoid rugby league. Especially in Sports Personality of the Year, over the years, it kind of gets forgotten a lot. I mean, the coverage of rugby league on BBC has always been good, but it always seems to get kind of forgotten when it comes to BBC Personality of the Year. Has picked up a little bit, I must say, but I mean, after the Rhinos this year, a treble winning year for them, and a great all-round team performance throughout the season. It's got to be. I mean, it really has. I mean, you look at other kind of team performances this year, I can't really bring to mind any that stands out like they do. So I would highly expect them to win it, Steve. I would be surprised if they... I would be surprised if they didn't, actually. I'm going to put it out there now. I'll be very, very surprised if Leeds Rhinos don't win Team of the Year at Sports Personality at the end of this year. I really hope they do anyway. They deserve it. Brian McDermott's done a fantastic job there this year. He's still always had to answer to his critics and a lot of the Leeds Rhinos fan base. Obviously a lot of the old guard, the likes of Peacock, Sinfield and Ludowi leaving this year. What a fairy tale end for them it's been. And it's still, the likes of Maguire and Burrow and players like that in there that have really kind of strung the team along. It's a lot younger team now. It's kind of been the passing of the guard over these past couple of seasons. The young players that were starting out when I started watching them, like Maguire, had only just burst on the scene and everything. Now they're the old guard, and I'm guessing Danny Maguire will probably move on to be captain. So yeah, for me that they have to be Team of the Year, because they have been the Team of the Year for me. It's been an outstanding all-round team performance from them. So yeah, thank you very much for your question there, Steve. I really do hope it is the case anyway. And Tom Roach has asked, do you think Leeds Rhinos will win the World Club Challenge in 2016, or is the NRL just too good? It's a hard one to judge, really. Obviously now it's kind of the World Club Series that they do, where it's kind of trying to work out who is the best between the Super League and the NRL. I think there's Wigan, St Helens and Leeds, of course, and then again Sydney Roosters, Brisbane Broncos and North Queensland Cowboys from the NRL. And basically it's over Friday, Saturday and Sunday. I can't remember who's playing out of the other two, but it's either Wigan and against Sydney Roosters on the Friday, Saints versus Brisbane Broncos on the Saturday, and then the actual World Club Challenge between also the winners of the Super League and NRL on the Sunday night. It's obviously between Leeds and North Queensland Cowboys. So over the years, it's I mean, the NRL has really shown their kind of dominance. I mean, when I started watching rugby league and I was properly supporting the Rhinos, around that time, you know, the English clubs were winning more than the lost. I mean, I think the Rhinos won maybe 3 out of the 4 World Club Challenges that I saw. I think I seem to remember Wigan possibly winning one around that time. But yeah, the tides kind of turned maybe around sort of 2006, 2007. And the NRL just really did up their game with it, or whenever they brought a team over. And started just dominating it, really. And it's one of those things, it's hard to say why, you know, it's always a tough and touchy subject, it turns out, with English rugby league players. Anyway, I remember when I was doing, I think I just finished my journalism degree, and I was doing a bit of part-time work at Radio Air, and I used to go to the Leeds Rhinos press conferences and do the interviews there, and it was just coming up to the World Club Challenge that particular year, and I asked Kevin Sinfield the question of, you know, it's always put out there that the NRL is much stronger than the Super League. You know, do you know, obviously you won't agree with this, but do you think maybe there's a reason why people think that? And he was just ultimately really rude to me. Maybe quite rightly, I don't know, but it definitely put me off him a little bit. So it's something that I think people can see, and it is very obvious that the NRL does seem to be stronger, but I just don't know why. I really can't put my finger on it. But anyway, to next year's World Club Challenge, I think it'll be hard for the Rhinos, because obviously it will be that first proper game with the full transition of the team happening. You know, there won't be the likes of Peacock, Sinfield and Luluai there. So it'll be a team kind of getting used to life without those kind of players and that you know, those leaders on the field. But I think they should still have enough to win. I think it will be a closely fought encounter, definitely. I seem to remember in the World Club Series last year they just completely put us to the sword. But hopefully they should put up a better fight and a better performance this time round. So I'm holding quite high hopes out, actually, Tom. I think the Rhinos should do all right. I'm not saying they'll definitely win it, but I think they'll put up a better performance than what other Super League clubs have done over the past few years. So we'll just have to wait and see. It'll be an interesting one to watch anyway. So thank you very much for your question there, Tom. So let's finish off with a question from Daniel Eatwell, who asks, what do you think of Ronnie Pickering? For those of you that don't know who Ronnie Pickering is, you've obviously been living under a rock the past couple of weeks. Basically, go out there and just type in Ronnie Pickering on YouTube. Basically, what happened was there was a guy on a bike or a scooter or something who had a GoPro on and got into some road rage with Ronnie Pickering, who was in the car. And Ronnie Pickering was not a very nice man. He was the guy on the scooter was, let's just say, careful on his scooter, shall we say. But Ronnie Pickering really didn't like that, and he was just so unnecessarily aggressive towards him, just coming out with all expletives under the sun, and calling him all sorts of names and offering him out for a bare knuckle fight. And it just kept going on, and basically the guy, Ronnie Pickering, said, you know, do you know who I am? And the guy said, who? And he just keeps repeating his name, Ronnie Pickering. And it's basically the biggest viral video on the internet at the moment. I mean, it is a very funny video in a way. It's a bit hard to watch because of just how embarrassing it is, you know. This guy just going way over the top for no reason at all. You know, it turns out the guy has like 5 grandkids, so, you know, for these grandkids to see, you know, the granddad, you know, coming out with all this language and his attitude and everything all over the internet, you know, they must be so proud of him. But yeah, I mean, it's your typical viral video, and it is very funny, and it is a kind of road rage that will go on every single day. But as everything with the internet, you know, it just goes that little bit too far with it. And, you know, there were some funny clips made of it and some funny memes and everything like that, and funny GIFs. But it just it goes too far. Like, I think it's got to the point now where I swear Ronnie Pickering is selling his car for £60,000 or something. It's just the fact that any person that gets this kind of viral status just suddenly has to become some kind of minor celebrity. You know, it happened with the Wheelston Raider. You know, I mean, no one chooses. You know, the Wheelston Raider didn't choose to be this viral hit. And fair play to the guy. You know, he's tried to just kind of fit in with it all, and he doesn't mind people coming up asking him to do the catchphrase. You know, you want some and all that. But you know, he released something like a charity single for it and everything, and it's just that fact of us living in this culture and society at the moment where you just have one hit with something stupid on the internet, some stupid 6-second clip or a 10-second clip or a 5-minute video or something that's caught accidentally, and you know, within a couple of weeks you could be a bloody minor celebrity, appearing on TV, going down the bloody red carpet at a film premiere, and I hate it. I really do hate it. It does my head in. And I'm not saying it is the people's fault. I think it's more a problem with us. You know, it's a problem with our society and the culture. It's us that put these people up on this pedestal that, you know, they don't really have any need to be up there. It's just stupid. It really is. So I imagine you probably wasn't expecting that kind of answer, Daniel. I mean, like I say, it is a funny video, and well, in particular, some of the videos that have been made off the back of it. You know, that the Spartacus videos are funny, and there's a Star Wars one out there, and you know, they are funny, but the whole kind of thing that's surrounding this guy now is just. It's just not needed, and it annoys me a little bit, as you could probably tell from that. So there we go, guys. That's it for episode 22 of Jonesy's Question Time. So thank you everyone who has sent in questions this week. So please do send in as many questions as you can for the next coming weeks. You know, don't just send them in mine for next week. You know, save them up and send them in for following weeks as well. You know, the bigger backlog of questions that I can have, the better, really. And as we've seen from that group of questions there, keep them varied like that. I love it when it's like that. I don't like one question time to be solely sports based or one to be solely kind of general and random based. And, you know, a nice mix, and you know, there's something in there for everyone then, isn't there? And it's much more enjoyable, I find, anyway. So anyway, yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. So thank you very much for watching. If it's your first time here, then please do leave a like and a subscribe, and you know, share it amongst your friends or people or relatives or your pets. Why not? Yeah, that would be very much appreciated, guys. So until next time, take care of yourselves, and I will see you all very soon.